Good morning, wild woman. Good morning, good morning. It's Monday and it's Pause with Elizabeth Eleanor. And today we're going to talk about manifesting because I have just, when you know something and you don't realize how much you know something until you, sometimes it takes a while before you recognize that you're doing something a lot differently than most people, or you're just so skilled at it that you don't even realize that you've got that ability, right? So that's me with manifesting. And I have manifested all my life in one way or another. And I would love for you to put #reflect and let me know, have you been someone that manifests in your life, and you've got, stories that you can share where you've been able to manifest things and make a huge difference in your life. There's so many different things that when we choose to create, we line up with the universe, right? Well, I do this really, really well. And I'm talking so many different things, right? So I'm talking about houses, cars. There's some of the big things that I have spoken about on a regular basis. Meeting my beautiful man at the beach, all of these things, and I'll share with all that in a minute. But where I'm going with this is that a lot of women, people in general, but women, because we're manifestors, we're creators, we have all this beautiful, ability in our body to create, life. And we just have this beautiful essence within us to self-nurture and to love and support and receive and to give. We're just natural creators, right? And so we have this ability to create. But I have this feeling that most people think that it's just here and there. It's not, it's not something that happens on a regular basis. And I want to know why. Why do you think it's not something that you can do all of the time? Because we get caught up in stories from society, from culture, from, old ancient books, from beliefs from our childhood. We make decisions of who we are and they get stuck in our system, and then we just constantly create that, right? So I remember I was pretty good at creating. I've got some pretty exciting stories of when I first started out with all of this stuff. I didn't have any idea what I was doing, right? And I hadn't seen anything either. I just want to say, put #reflect, and I want to hear your manifestation story. I want to hear what you've manifested in your life that that you specifically created because it was something that you made a conscious choice of, you stayed in alignment, you focused on it. Oh my gosh, my internet is going to start playing up, but here I am, I'm still on. And so, there's all of these things that I can share with you. I remember the very first time I physically know that it was a manifestation from myself. My kids were little. I was a single mom. I had no way of paying all the bills, and they all just jam-packed. Have you ever been in a situation where life just goes bang and implodes on you? That was me, right? And I had no concept. I just spiritually woken up, but still didn't freaking believe in it. My head's very scientific, got this thing, I believe in, evidence-based information in my head. And so I was doing all these things and it wasn't working. Now, I just started being a remedial massage therapist. I just sort of been in the area for maybe, 3 years, 2 years or something, not very long, right? And I was just building up my clientele, and I didn't have a very big clientele. I don't know if you're aware of when you're first starting out in any business, you do the sort of low level stuff to start with, right? So I was advertising on notice boards, community notice boards, and my printer had died and I had no way of advertising that I was around and I was available and all that sort of stuff. And a friend says to me, well, ring up, oh my God, I've got all these bills, what am I going to do, And she said, it was actually this epiphany, because she said, why don't you just imagine that you're debt free? And now people that are into all this sort of stuff will tell you that actually that's the wrong words, right? But it worked for me. I had this moment where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm debt free. Now, I won't go into all of the details of the story, but what did happen was all I did was create that I was debt free in my energy field. I had some highs and lows with that I went through and I processed by myself. But what ended up happening was, say that was on the Monday, on the Thursday, I get a phone call from my local hairdresser, and she says, we've got the manager from a bed and breakfast around the corner. There was no Airbnb at that time. And she's a new manager and she's freaking out because there's 4 people coming in from England and all 4 of them want a massage and she doesn't have a massage therapist, right? And so she's like, can you do it? And of course, what do? I smile, off I go. I massage those 4 English people 4 times while they're on holidays, because I was living up in Cairns in a tourist area. 4 times, and then 2 people moved in to that same little spot, that same area, that same bedroom, and they had 2 massages. I just wiped out all my bills. I then thought, oh my gosh, I found The Secret. The movie The Secret hadn't even come out yet, right? I hadn't seen any law of attraction stuff. I was just starting out on this stuff, and I went and did this process by myself. And I thought I had it made, right? I've worked it out. I understand the process, and I'm on, and I'm going to be a millionaire, and off I went, right? Well, do you think that that's what happened? No, it didn't, because I had to go on this journey. I had to recognize what was getting in the way. And there was some things that I can say, like houses and cars. One of the first cars that I manifested, I moved down to Sydney. No, I didn't move down to Sydney. I was in Sydney. I bought a car that was in Cairns Avenue. The woman's last name was the same as my stepfather's first name. It was in Rockdale, which I'd kept on thinking about. It was just one thing after another. And I won't share too much of that story either. But there's all of these stories that I can share. But in the middle of these interactions, in the middle of these manifestations, I go back into my dysfunctional patterns of not believing in any of it, thinking I wasn't good enough, thinking that, like having this belief, and it was an internal belief that I didn't even realize I had, that these things are just moments, like they don't happen all the time. I just manifested this and I manifested that, and just ignore the stuff that's going on in the background, right? That doesn't, I didn't manifest that, like all of those things. Or I have a lot of friends that, no, I didn't do that, right? Did this, but I didn't do that, right? What I would do is something bad would happen, and I'd sit down and psychoanalyze, how did I stuff this up? And I would blame myself. I would shame myself. I would think of all of the horrible things of my childhood, that it was, that it was because of this and because of that. And I'd make excuses about who I was. Who's been there? Have you been there? What I want to share with you is that actually, once you clear all of the stuff that's getting in the way? And I want to talk about this, right? What's the stuff that's getting in the way? Once you clear the stuff, and these are little vibrational frequencies, this manifestation ability happens regularly. It happens all the time, every day. It happens as you are aligned with the universe, as you are connected to your higher self. And your higher self is actually guiding you and is actually down. You are your higher self here, and you're just navigating this flow, right? And you're just following the signs. Now, that started happening consistently for me 3 years ago. 3 years ago, when I started recognizing the power of the unconscious, the belief systems that are holding us back, the past lives. Now, I've done past lives for 7 years. I did past life intense training, and then I was a facilitator. And what I'm doing now with recoding, and if I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you and you don't know what recoding is, put a question mark in here, recoding, and I'll reach out and I'll share a bit more about it, right? Recoding is clearing the old patterns so that you are in alignment and flowing with the universe. Because what happens is, here on earth, as a human being, we've got all of these beliefs, emotions, we've got past lives, we've got generational history, we've got all this stuff in our bloodline that's holding us back, right? And so, hey, I just saw Naomi jump on. Naomi, throw a hashtag reflect in here and tell us what you know that you have manifested in your lifetime. Because the more we understand and the more we recognize ourselves as manifestors, the more we're starting to go into that lane, right? And so all of these things hold us back. And when I was doing past life regression, I was clearing some of these things, past life stuff, old patterns of behavior from my childhood. There was a whole heap of stuff, right? But now that I do recoding, I see that past life regression took way longer, because now I can recognize that when you connect into your higher self, which when you individualize your higher self, it's your higher self, but when you bring it into the collective, I call it the superconscious, right? The superconscious is where all of those codes came from that are holding us back and holding us in a lower frequency, right? They're holding us in this vibrational match to this earth, which is duality, right? Good and bad, hot and cold, right and wrong. And all of these behaviors, we start defining ourselves and creating definitions and judgments and labels that then limit us from actually our fullest potential, right? And being in that flow. And so what I've started recognizing, and my higher self is starting to, give me these little nuggets of information for me to be sharing way more with people, especially with women, right? We want to shift the vibration of the planet so that we can bring in this beautiful place where everyone understands who they are and starts recognizing their ability to create their own dreams, their own visions, and really start making this place shine, right? And so when you can really align, one of the things that I want to introduce into Awakening Wild Women is the concept of following the white rabbit. Because when you make a choice, you've got to choose what it is that you want to create. You've got to make the choice, because when you create a focus of what it is that you want to create, everything starts lining up, right? Now, there's other stuff. There's other parts to this. And that's the old patterns from our childhood, past lives, generational, all of those things, right? There's a lot of gunk in our field that needs to be addressed and needs to be shifted so that we've got a new definition around certain things, because we get triggered emotionally from things that we've had brought up in our childhood, and we've made definitions of who we are. We start going into this space of I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, all of these things. We become, conditioned to be the good girl and a people pleaser. I'm just about to jump off this and go straight into Boundaries of Love, which is my 5-day alignment retreat that I'm doing at the moment to support women to really connect in with what their boundaries are and how to express that, right? And so when we make a choice, it's clearing all of that stuff that's sort of vibrationally not a match, right? That's in our field and is holding us back. It's like an elastic, right? This information that's still in our auric field is holding us back from getting to our end result, and it's pulling us away, or it's distorting the energy like this, right? It's all over the place instead of being able to focus. And so when you're being pulled back by these things, that's when manifestation doesn't happen all the time. You have this big burst, you think, woohoo, I've just created something, aren't I amazing? I'm in alignment, blah, blah, blah. And then your unconscious goes, yeah, but remember, you're not good enough. Let's come back over here. Let's go back into our comfort zone. Let's be small. Let's not be seen. Let's just stay here because this is who you are. And unless you can pull that stuff out, shift it out of your field, is always going to keep pulling you back, and you're going to oscillate in your manifestations. You're not going to be able to create consistently, and then you won't have those white rabbit moments, right? Where you're following the white rabbit, where you're seeing the signs and the signs are sharing with you, you're on the right path, keep moving forward, keep going this way, right? The white rabbit goes down the hole and you follow like Alice does, and next thing you're in Wonderland. But if you've got stuff that's holding you back, and sometimes they're things that you're not even aware of because they're so ingrained, not just in ourselves from conditioning from our childhood that we've made decisions about, but then we've got all of these cultural conditions. We've got all of this belief system that the world, there's a crisis at the moment. There's a recession going on. You're constantly being conditioned. Stay small. Don't believe in yourself. Be in fear. Be in doubt. And I'm telling you that when you don't listen to those things and you just hold the focus of what it is that you want to create and be in alignment with that focus, the white rabbit will show you those little trails, right? And I should have kept, I've just an example, right? I haven't got her here. If you want to go on my personal page, you'll see it. But I have this pendulum that I have had for a long time. This would have been my first pendulum. I need to cleanse it, actually. It's a little bit, you can feel the energy is not completely okay. And so with the pendulum, look, he's already saying yes. So cool. With the pendulum, good morning, Gail. This was my first pendulum, and the other day I put it down next to me on my desk here, and I realized I put it down next to this beautiful rainbow fluorite, right? And I thought, oh, look at that. They're the same colors. Isn't that beautiful? Next thing I know, here's this little bag, free spirit. Don't even know where I got it from. It's sitting next to me. I think some jewelry came in it, or something. Sitting there, because we're still unpacking, right, from moving house. Sitting there, and I thought, oh, look, that's really cool. My my crystal goes in there, and so does my pendulum, and I'm going backwards and forwards to my daughter at the moment. This is a really cool way to keep them together. Now, it's a shame I haven't got it. It's downstairs next to my fighter fish tank. I got a present from one of my clients who has never seen this, by the way. I have a white rabbit moment happening at the moment where my client avatar that I've called Alice for years has turned into Alice in Wonderland Alice, right? And so hence follow the white rabbit, because I'm recognizing that's where I'm taking women, is into Wonderland. And I get this gift the other day, and what is it? It's a beautiful little Alice. And I go on my personal page if you want to check it out, but the Alice is in rainbow fluorite like this, right? So now I've got all three, and they're so beautiful together. And then, this is following the white rabbit. What happened was, I'm in the middle of rebranding. I've got this beautiful opportunity to work with this amazing woman called Sarah DeSenya. And I'm in the process of it, and I recognize that these are my branding colors, right? This is my higher self giving me those little hints as I follow the white rabbit. So what part of your life is the white rabbit trying to get your attention so that you can follow and start creating on a regular basis? What are you choosing to have in your life for 2024, right? Here we are at the end of the year, 2024. What are you choosing to create? Are you following those hints, those little nuggets? Have you cleared the stuff out of the way so that you're in this smooth alignment? Or have you still got some muck in your system that's holding you back? Because if you've got some stuff that's getting in the way, it won't happen like these little nuggets that you can follow and just be in ease. Because what you're doing in those moments, when you clear that stuff, is you're collapsing time and you're working in more than one timeline. And that's why manifesting on a regular basis is collapsing timelines and supporting you to flow with ease. So get on a call with me if you're having a few struggles with your manifestation. If you're challenged with it coming on a consistent basis, then you need to jump on a call and we'll figure out what that one thing is that's getting in the way so that you can move one solution. I'll just give you one solution. If you want one solution before 2024, jump on a call and we will sort that out so that you have more alignment in 2024 and can just go bang, 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 right? And start manifesting as fast as us conscious creators are in our circle. That's me 5 minutes before my Boundaries of Love. Super excited about it. If you want to jump into Boundaries of Love, let us know. You've got 5 minutes before day one starts. It's a 5-day event. Jump in, say Boundaries of Love in here if you want the link. There are replays. You get it for a week afterwards. So jump in and we'll see you later.